This time on Film Ranker, we are looking at the films of the DCEU. And although this list is much smaller than its Marvel counterpart and more varied in quality, you can't say that they don't take chances. And there are a few gems in the mix. So let's get ranking. Justice League. This was kind of filmed by committee, and the results are a mess. The CGI, first of all, is terrible, but the real problem is the story, which is surprisingly light. Remember in Batman vs. Superman when we were introduced to the team via email attachments? Well, this film isn't really going to expand on that. And also, after all of the pomp of Superman's death, he's just going to take a few minutes of the morning grumps to shake that off before the team heads to a weirdly abandoned city to safely fight Steppenwolf. And also, why Steppenwolf? He's like the fifth most important employee of Darkseid. Outside of a few snippets of Aquaman and Wonder Woman, this is a long way from the DC calling card that it should have been. Batman versus Superman. All we needed in this movie was Batman versus Superman. We didn't need all these distractions involving the Middle East and Congress and mom napping and quick trips to the docks or a Lex Luthor that acts like a poor man's Joker. There are bits that work, but even those bits all have an asterisk. Like, Wonder Woman's great, but she feels like she's in a completely other movie. Batman versus the Thugs is cool, except when he's just straight up killing them. And some of Doomsday's fight is actually pretty good, although you gotta wonder, why is he electric? It's just way too much of the stuff that we don't want and not enough of the stuff that we do. Man of Steel. This is the best of Zack Snyder's 3 DCEU films. It does have some really great visual moments. Unfortunately, it also has a Superman who is really weirdly apathetic. Henry Cavill looks the part to a T, but he's not charming enough to be Clark or charismatic enough to be Superman. Michael Shannon, however, shines as Zod, and the fight scenes between them, sponsored by IHOP and Sears, are legitimately cool, even if they are maybe a little bit overly destructive. But despite a cool first 15 minutes and some great work from Shannon, we're never really given a chance to connect with anything. Suicide Squad. Bits of this movie are cool, but it's been edited by maniacs. What movie starts with 45 minutes of intros followed by a couple more intros? We also get this weird push to give Deadshot and Rick Flag more screen time when it's clear that Harley is the heart of the film. None of the pieces of this movie fit. It feels like 3 drafts of a script that were squished together and then padded with a few more showcase scenes for Will Smith. It's just so clunky and ham-fisted. I've got a feeling that somewhere out there on a cutting room floor, there's a version of this movie that focuses on Harley and Joker and is 30 minutes shorter and has 6 fewer main characters, and that movie is actually really cool. AQUAMAN. It is so over-the-top ludicrous that it's hard not to get on board. James Wan likes to go big, and boy, does he ever go big here. We go from giant crazy thing to gianter crazy thing to dinosaurs in secret caves to epic underwater battles. This is to DC's credit, they threw every single thing into this movie. We get both of Aquaman's biggest baddies, plus we get Mira and we get Atlantis, and we get everything. This is how you make a movie when you don't know that there will be a sequel. And yes, some of the acting is terrible, and most of the dialogue is ridiculous. But once you get past the massive suspension of disbelief that is required, and just sit back and enjoy the dumb roller coaster that this movie is, it is kind of a blast. Shazam! Captain Marvel, or Shazam as he is now known, and that is still kind of weird for me, but whatever, is one of my all-time favorite superheroes. I love the terrible old cartoon and Mr. Takitani and the ridiculous villains and all of it. And I know that this movie is based on the New 52 version, but holy moly, does it ever still capture that goofy spirit. Billy, Freddie, and Mary are all spot on. I don't know the new kids, but they seem cool too. Dr. Savannah is up to his old nefarious plans, and the whole thing is silly, wholesome fun. It might be a little too Saturday matinee for some, but that's kind of the whole point, and I love it. Wonder Woman. This is the movie that saved the DCEU. It took 5 films to get one of them right, but they finally did. And this is everything that we wanted in a Wonder Woman movie. It's got Amazon, Steve Trevor, Dr. Psycho, World War II battles, Ares, and most importantly, an actress that gets Wonder Woman inside and out. The world building in this is just terrific, and choosing World War II as a time period was genius. Perhaps the final battle against Ares falls a little bit flat, but otherwise, this is one of the best comic book movies, period, and easily the best of the DCEU universe. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Whether or not you agree, I hope you had fun. If you want to see more things get ranked, click the boxes that are all over the screen or check out the other videos on the channel. See you again next time.